We live in a world obsessed with appearances. Social media feeds us a constant stream of filtered lives and curated moments. It's easy to feel inadequate, like we're not enough. We start to question our own relationships, our achievements, and even our own worth. Are we loved for who we are or for the image we project? The truth is, nothing is ever as perfect as it seems. Behind the filters and the carefully crafted personas, we are all flawed and vulnerable human beings. We crave connection, belonging, and love. Yet we often find ourselves settling for superficial imitations instead of seeking the real thing. We choose the comfort of the familiar over the vulnerability of authenticity. This is true in love, in friendship, and in our pursuit of success. We chase after idealized versions of relationships and achievements, often sacrificing our true selves in the process. We settle for surface-level connections because they require less vulnerability. We chase after external validation instead of defining success on our own terms. But what is the true cost of this pursuit of the artificial? It's easier to swipe right on a dating app than to risk the vulnerability of a real-life conversation. It's simpler to collect followers on Instagram than to cultivate genuine friendships that require time, effort, and emotional investment. It's less daunting to chase after a prestigious job title than to define our own version of success and pursue it with passion and purpose. We are drawn to things that appear easy, shiny, and instantly gratifying. We want the shortcuts, the quick fixes, the instant validation. Authenticity, however, is not a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey of self-discovery, courage, and vulnerability. We fear rejection, judgment, and the possibility of not being enough. So we build walls around our hearts and present a carefully curated version of ourselves to the world. We settle for fake smiles and hollow victories, all the while yearning for something deeper and more meaningful. The problem with facades is that they eventually crumble. Fake love leaves you feeling empty and alone. Superficial friendships lack the depth and support to sustain you through life's inevitable challenges. And success built on external validation rather than intrinsic motivation will ultimately ring hollow. When we live inauthentically, we disconnect from ourselves and from others. We build our lives on a foundation of fear and insecurity. We become afraid to let people see the real us, to show our imperfections and vulnerabilities. This fear keeps us trapped in a cycle of superficiality, preventing us from experiencing the true joy and fulfillment that come from living authentically. We may achieve a semblance of success, but it will always be tinged with a nagging sense of emptiness. Authenticity is not about perfection. It's about embracing our imperfections, our vulnerabilities, and our shared humanity. It's about showing up in the world as our true selves, even when it's scary. It's about having the courage to be vulnerable, to love deeply, and to live a life that is true to our values and aspirations. True love requires vulnerability, trust, and a willingness to be seen for who we are, flaws and all. Genuine friendship thrives on empathy, compassion, and a shared commitment to supporting each other through thick and thin. Authentic success is not defined by external validation, but by the joy, fulfillment, and meaning we find in our pursuits. Choosing authenticity requires courage. It means letting go of the need for approval and embracing the freedom that comes from living in alignment with our values. It means learning to love ourselves, imperfections and all. And it means having the courage to build relationships that are based on honesty, vulnerability, and a deep sense of mutual respect. The path to authenticity is not always easy, but it is always worth it. When we choose to live authentically, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. We create space for deeper connections, more meaningful relationships, and a life that is truly our own. Choose courage, choose vulnerability, choose authenticity,